China's economic growth may be slowing and its markets may be struggling, but people are still spending, especially during the Lunar New Year holidays. According to China's national bank network, China UnionPay, spending during the 7-day Lunar New Year holidays shot up 31% on year to $48 billion. That's a new record for the 7-day national holiday. Chinese officials say the replacement is just the beginning of a series of overhauls the government is taking to try to fix the financial sector. But analysts say the move was necessary and has been in the works for some time now. It's just a way by the government to show investors that they're doing something to fix the problems in the market. Just as important as well, analysts say, someone has to take the blame for what has been branded a stock market crisis. But analysts do not have high hopes for the successor, Mr. Liu Shiyu. He faces many uphill challenges, but he's also unlikely to rock the boat. After all, he has seen what happened to his predecessor, who implemented sweeping changes, including the infamous circuit breaker, which you mentioned earlier, which kind of led to the end of his chairmanship.
Val Tan, my colleague, joins us live from Shanghai. And Val, China, of course, hosting this world's top economic leaders and some significant comments coming out from the PBOC governor.
That's right, Adam. More reassuring messages coming out from the central bank governor of China, basically saying more room to maneuver in the monetary policy, but he didn't exactly say how, when and why.
Earlier, I spoke with our correspondent Val Tan in Kunming, and she gave us a sense of the mood on the ground today.
If we recall last year, after the attack took place, local media reports say that it was a massacre. They call it massacre, and some even went so far to call it China's 9/11. But 1 year on today, life goes on. I walked by the main entrance of the train station earlier on. There were no flowers, no wreaths to commemorate the 29 people who died that fateful day. In its place, instead, it's a heavier than normal security presence. This road, this main road that leads up to the entrance of the train station, is under watch, I'm told. 24-hour surveillance by paramilitary police. In fact, historians estimate that there are at least 10,000 military brothels in China during the Japanese occupation, and the ratio was 1 comfort woman to 89 soldiers. This is one of the many buildings here in Shanghai converted into a military brothel by the Japanese soldiers during the occupation. It's now a rundown residential complex occupied by 3 families here. Historians have managed to convince the government not to tear the building down, but no one wants to foot the bill when it comes to evicting the residents and turning it into a museum.
Getting into a sports car like this isn't exactly the most ladylike thing to do, as you can see, but that has not lowered its appeal amongst the growing number of affluent women in the Asia Pacific. That's why Porsche expects the female market share to grow to 40% in the next 10 years.
Push it close to the success of Transformers, China's highest grossing foreign film last year. Projected to take over the US as the world's biggest movie-going market in the next 3 years, China has increasingly become an important market for Hollywood films. Just this year, 8 Hollywood films held red carpet premieres in China, setting a new record. So despite the rampant piracy problems and China's non-negotiable quota of 30 foreign films per year, for Hollywood, wooing the Chinese moviegoer is do or do not. There is no try.